Rest well, everyone. We can meet back here later on. I have a small errand to run in the city, so I'll leave you to recover. Will you be heading to the palace, Wuk Lamat? Wuk Lamat, did you hear me? Lost in her own little world, it seems. Well, no matter. I'll be back soon enough. An attendant is standing by to unlock your cabin. Enjoy your stay. Welcome back, Mistress Luxalui. Your cabin is just as you left it, minus a light layer of dust. Oh, I forgot to change clothes. Who is it? Oh, Wuk Lamat.
You have a moment?
Yeah, sure.
There's something I wanted to talk to you about. So, it's just too stuffy in here, that's what. We should go outside. Aye, a nice walk in the fresh air, that's what we need.
I have a balcony. It's a pretty balcony. Sorry to drag you away from your nice, comfortable cabin, but I could feel the walls closing in. Oh, I know. I'll take you to one of my favorite places in Tudiola. That should help me get my thoughts in order. We'll go to the Resplendent Quarter and make our way up from there. Oh, hello, dear. You're one of Wuk Lamat's new friends? Peshua, what are you doing up and about? Is your back feeling better? It's much healed now, so don't make a fuss. Besides, I can't be lounging in bed all day while you're out there fighting your hardest to win the throne. You're the claimant with the greatest love for peace. I love this nation of ours, and lending you my support is the least I can do. When I see you smile like that, how can I not be encouraged? Oh, there's plenty more who believe in your cause. I can recruit a whole battalion of smiling faces if you think it would help. Yours alone is more than enough. Thank you, Peshua. And thank you, Third Promise. I shall pray for your success in the contest. All those smiling faces. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. It's just that with the progress we have made in the contest, even these everyday encounters feel that much more special. Do you think we can take our time and maybe wander around a little first? Then we can head to that spot I was thinking of.
This is much better. I used to come here all the time when I was little. I'd look out over the whole city, and whatever worries I had would seem so small. Do you remember what I said at the top of Work Zormor? That I would fight to preserve Papa's peaceful Tural? Well, I've been thinking a lot since then. About what peace really means. And it brought to mind all the best parts of our journey so far. I realized nothing gives me greater joy than the happiness of others. Life has its ups and downs, but the company of family and friends and the music of their laughter is what makes it worth living. And as silly as it might sound, I've come to believe that those smiling faces are the best measure of peace.
That's the sort of thing I would expect you to say. You wish for a world like in the Yakui's dream? Ideals are nice in theory.
With eternal life and no struggle or conflict, it's certainly an ideal worth striving for.
But it's impossible.
Who knows if we could make such a world a reality? But renouncing war and conquest seems like a good place to start. So, this is my plan. When I become Dawn Servant, I'll build on Papa's peace. Our people will live together in happiness.
I thought she was gonna fall.
It's just like Kryl said. By taking the time to hear their concerns, understand their feelings, and consider how best to serve, with each passing day, I'll be that much closer to becoming the leader I want to be. It's hard for me to say how much I've changed since the contest began. But there's one thing I can say with confidence. I wouldn't have come this far without you as allies. If it wasn't for you all listening and feeling and thinking along with me, I would have never learned so much, and in so short a time. There are 2 keystones left. After everything that's happened, and imagining what could happen, are you still willing to walk this path with me? Thank the gods for that. Well, I've nothing else to get off my chest. I need to head to the palace, but I'll see you back at the cabins.
My ears are inside the pillow. You look to be in good spirits. I assume your leisure time was well spent. I was glad to snatch some quality sleep myself. After all, it will soon be back to the road for us. I'm sure the others will be along shortly. I do hope everyone has rested well. Now that we have refreshed ourselves somewhat, let us consider all claimants as they currently stand. Soraja and Koana have completed every feat thus far and hold 5 keystones apiece. Wuk Lamat would be equal with them but for Bakool Ja Ja's thievery, which had left us one short. That conniving braggart didn't so much as lift a finger for the feat of proof and wreaked havoc for the feat of ice. He can't have more than 3 keystones at most. He may think he can simply steal what he needs to win, but he's sorely mistaken. I'll be taken back with his mine. This I swear. I fear that reclaiming your keystone may not be enough. That is, if Bakool Ja Ja's unleashing of Bali Armada is any indication. Using his lead, I anticipate that he will move to obtain the remaining keystones before disrupting his rival's attempts. We may all find ourselves being forced to take from one another. Can't say I would be comfortable with that. But neither will I surrender my claim to the throne so easily. If it is for the sake of preserving the happiness of my people, I'll do what I must. The last 2 keystones we'll require are those of the Lay of Repast and the Lay of the Brotherhood. The former depicts the cessation of hostilities between the Mamook Ja and Xbral in the forest of Yak T'el, specifically near a village called Brash. That's where I was born, if you recall. I haven't been back there since Papa took me in when I was a baby. Where the Lay of the Brotherhood takes place, however, is unclear. In the saga, it is said that a foreign explorer came seeking an audience with the Dawn Servant, but little more than that. Eorzea has a similar tale. The explorer Ketenram befriended a 2-headed king known as the Autarch before commencing his travels across Tural. He journeyed here several times afterwards, but was ultimately lost at sea. At least, that is the commonly held belief. Your 2-headed king certainly sounds like Papa. So this Ketenram fellow must have come to Tuliyolal. But if he indeed arrived some 80 years ago, the capital may not have been built yet, vestiges of Jokhoi architecture notwithstanding. Wait, you said Autarch, didn't you? Then Ketenram must have met the Dawn Servant in Mamook. Mamook? Is that a city? One of the grandest in Tural. Once upon a time, and the seat of the Bakool Ja's homeland. It too lies in Yak T'el, not far from Brash. Then all things considered, Yak T'el seems the obvious choice for our next destination. From here, the safest method of travel is by dirigible. We should make for the landing once our preparations are complete. We're riding in one of Koana's balloons. They can't be any worse than ships, can they? Are we sure that thing would stay in the air? All the way to Yak T'el? Are you really? Bags packed and goodbye said. There's no going back once we lift off. Okay, I can eat, right? Not that I'm nervous or anything, I'm just making sure that you are not nervous. Oh, who am I kidding? My knees won't stop shaking. Hey, will you hold my hand? Just until I've settled my nerves. Maybe ask her a bit. Of course. Oh, fine, okay. You're the nicest person I've ever met. I'll try not to crush your hand. There she is, third promise. Wait just a moment. Mablu. Hi, Mablu. And this guy. Mablu and Tobli. Of course. I'll wait as long as you need. Sorry to delay you, but we were able to discover the origin of Kryle's earring. Oh. Is that so? You said before that it gained popularity in Yoctural as a protective ward for travelers, correct? That's right. We tracked down the elderly merchant to whom first sales are attributed. According to him, the sign imitates an accessory worn by a foreign mage he met at market some 20 years ago. Little did he know that charming taste of salt would prove to be a commercial triumph. Foreign mage, I mean, green mages then are a thing. A foreign mage wearing this earring could only be grandfather. Did the merchant happen to mention which market? One in Yak T'el, to where it seems you are already bound. What luck, then I shall seek my next clue once we arrive. Is it mere coincidence that brought my grandfather there, or yet another discovery to look forward to? Thank you both for coming all this way. Anything for the third promise. Good luck with the rest of the rite. Thanks, I won't let you down. I just got to board this dirigible and I'm as good as there. Last call for passengers to Yak T'el. I really hope she wins. Yak T'el will test her mettle, without a doubt. The next Dawn Servant must be willing to bear the full weight of this nation's history, no matter how heavy it may be. Oh.
The fierce Shapral hunters who laid claim to this land call it the Azure Forest, Yak T'el. Battered by meteors in ancient times and colored mesmerizing shades of blue and green by nature, it is easy to understand why the place is so named. It is here, where the Shapral and Bakool Ja Ja once battled for dominance, that the rite of succession would reach its climax.
Yak T'el.
Are you all right?
I've never been good with heights.
The vegetation is far denser than in Kozumautka.
I suggest you pay more attention to the ground, unless you want to walk straight into a cenote.
A cenote?
Everyone's pronouncing things differently.
Sinkholes filled with rain and groundwater. Many meteors fell here long ago, it is said, and after they struck the earth, it became susceptible to erosion. Deep as some of the pits are, you'll not climb out in a hurry should you take a tumble. So, don't take a tumble.
It was one time.
Is the Shabral community depicted in the Lay of Repast close by?
Shibral.
Aye. We need but follow the path a short way west.
Right. I can't stand here with my knees knocking forever. Let's get going.
With thicker vegetation comes reduced visibility. I advise you to keep someone in sight at all times. Good. Everyone's accounted for. Igbrash is up ahead. Let's be on our way. Erbil was not exaggerating about these cenotes. It would be a grueling ordeal to climb out of one. Well, thankfully we made it here without incident. Let's not dally any longer. Ready to head on in? Our first task should be finding the Elector. Hopefully, our relative tardiness will not reflect poorly upon us. The third promise and her retinue, I presume? You presume right. I seek the Dawn Servant's Elector. Then come and join us at the Garden of Stars, at Village Center. Everyone is waiting for you. Everyone? And who might that be? There is but one way to find out. Come, let us follow him. Oh, literally everyone. How do we tolerate this guy here?
At last, we are graced by the presence of the third promise.
If I'd known we'd be waiting on your mangy hide, I wouldn't have bothered with Ligarmanda in the first place.
You self-serving piece of weaver dung! Do you have any idea how many could have been hurt?
Now that we are assembled, let us begin. My name is Hunmuruk. As Ibrash Rash, I have the honor of serving as Elector on behalf of my people.
Okay, Homon Rook, easy. Shibrax Rax. Shibrash Rax.
As all four claimants must be present for this feat, we have eagerly awaited your arrival. Third promise, if you would please join us. Thus far, you have faced each other as rivals. The feat of Repast, however, will test your cooperation. You must complete this challenge in teams of 2.
Ooh.
What? You expect us to work with one of these weaklings?
Be warned, only the triumphant team will receive keystones. I advise you to cooperate with your partner. Teams will be decided by lots. Those who draw the same color will be paired accordingly.
Oh, please don't let me end up with Bakool Ja Ja.
Twelve forbid Wuk Lamat is paired with Bakool Ja Ja. After all he's put her through, I wouldn't blame her if she did something rash. I might even help.
Claimants, please present your colors.
I have red.
Blue. On separate teams, then. And the rest?
Red. Which means...
Together again, as fate would have it.
victory's as good as ours.
With our claimants thus paired, so too is their opposition.
Not the one-hit.
Listen well, for the trial that awaits you is as follows. Each team is to prepare a sample of traditional Shebrol cuisine. Shibruk Pibil.
Please tell me Shibruk is pork. Please tell me Shibruk is pork.
And now we must cook. Another ludicrous feat.
So it might seem, but there's bound to be deeper meaning to it.
Cooperation.
Agreed. Given that the very future of our nation is at stake, all parts of this rite must have significance.
Our promises have grown rather promising, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. If I were to guess at the significance of the feat, few things reflect the history and development of a culture so clearly as its culinary traditions.
The variety of stewed dishes in Garlean cuisine bespeaks their agricultural roots and cold climes, true.
The peoples we've met on our journey, they've all had different practices involving food and drink. The Hanu replenish their magical energies with reeds, while the Pelu have turned their fondness of beverages into a living. So basically, to know a people's cuisine is to know something of their ways.
With each feat, we have deepened our familiarity with a given community's history and culture.
That's why you cannot just replace everything with technology and foreign technology. You must accept who they are.
Is this what Father intended for us all along?
Yes.
But a leader with his vision must see that the past doesn't hold the answers we need. It is through embracing innovation, not adhering to tradition, that we will usher Tuli Yolal onto a more prosperous future.
The rules are simple. The first team to prepare and partake of satisfactory Shibruk Bivir will be deemed victorious. You will be judged by your sample's taste and appearance, as well as your adherence to appropriate cooking techniques. Kitchens have been made available for your use. Note that you may be asked to retry should your dish fail to pass muster.
Damn it!
Let the feat of repast begin.
I'm hungry, and they're talking about food. And even if shibruk or whatever it's called is not pork, the word pibil reminds me of cochinita pibil, which is a special meat that tacos are made with.
I've never actually heard of Shibruk Pibil before. What's it like, I wonder?
Shouldn't you work together? How fortunate that this feat's unique stipulations have frustrated Bakool Ja Ja's attempt to delay us. Serves him right. That's what he gets for endangering my people with his schemes. Why doesn't he just compete fairly? He's plenty strong and obviously has a mind for a strategy, twisted though it may be. I'll never understand him. Putting aside our competition for the moment, allow me to express how glad I am for this opportunity to work together. As I see it, our team possesses a distinct advantage. Hey, of course we do. Anything I'm on is bound to succeed. Precisely. You mean we have an advantage in numbers? Yes. Our competition has a team of 6. The 2 claimants, Sarelja and Bakool Ja Ja's lackeys. Whereas we are a team of 9. That's 3 more people we can mobilize. With the tasks to be delegated, it should be a brisk affair to learn the recipe and assemble necessary ingredients. Too easy. Well, we mustn't be overconfident, lest we make a careless mistake that could have easily been avoided. Our first order of business should be determining the recipe for Shibruk Pibil. We can hardly gather ingredients for a dish we know nothing about. Given the nature of this feat, asking for answers directly may prove less effective than simply observing the daily habits of the Xhral people. Let us gather here once we have sent what clues this village has to offer. A number of spices, some entirely unfamiliar to you, are nestled in a basket. That one's called achiote. We mostly use it to add a bit of color to our most popular cuisine, but its medicinal benefits are as significant as well. Achiote! The recipe for Shibruk Pibil? I wish I could tell you, friend. A dish so delicious is meant to be shared. Alas, we are forbidden from divulging anything. Orders from Humuruk himself. But your mentioning it has given me a fierce craving. I really hope there's still Ibruk to be had at market. Wink. Ibruk. We ought to cut our losses and head to Mamook. This feat is nothing but a fool's errand. You're the fool if you think he won't tan our hides for leather if we dare to return without enough keystones. Besides, we have taken from the house cat before. How difficult could a second time be? But what are you looking at, Salta Liquor? Mind your own business. An unusually colored banana peel has been neatly arranged on the ground, which appears to be smoking. Oh no, it appears I've gone and dropped my Jatika banana peel. I could barely see it for all the steam issuing from my underground oven. Ah, there's nothing like enjoying a tasty banana while you use the leaves in your cooking. So it's something you cook with leaves, banana leaves, and You use achote on it, and there's also this ibru something. Sorry, I'm back. What did we discover about Shibruk Pibil? True to your prediction, the villagers were forbidden from educating us directly. However, many were still preparing it as one might a staple dish, and observation of their techniques yielded clues enough. A lady blending local herbs and spices was only too happy to describe the ones I didn't recognize, while neither confirming nor denying any relation to Shibruk Pibil. But one in particular she attributed to all common Shibral dishes, achiote she called it. I see. Then if Shibruk Pibil is indeed a dish as ubiquitous as Alfinol claims, we have confirmed our first ingredient. Meanwhile, I did observe a cook burying bundles wrapped in the leaf of najul, or banana, in certain localities. It would seem the use of subterranean ovens is commonplace. I saw the same. I think we all know what's inside those bundles then, don't you? Ibruk, without a doubt. A sizzling slab of beef. It smelled so good I could practically taste it. Squeaky flesh of a bipedal fish. Ibruk. As would be expected of a dish called Shibruk Pibil, indeed. So to summarize, this dish is one of Ibruk, flavored with a combination of spices that includes achiote and steamed underground within najul or banana leaves. Given our assumptions are correct, we must now learn where and how to procure our ingredients. As a staple cuisine, its ingredients will be close at hand, which is why Thancred and I scouted the surrounding forests while you all were exploring the village. Between the local vegetation and wild Ibruk, we should have everything we need in regards to meat and spices. Ha! Leave it to a master gleaner. With that, we should next divvy up our tasks. While some gather ingredients, others should make ready the kitchen. I can help prepare the kitchen. Permit me to assist as well. Our ovens will doubtless require firewood, and I have some experience in its gathering. I too should be glad to volunteer mine aid. Then the rest of us will gather ingredients. I can make quick work of the spices and herbs myself. I am happy to lead someone to a suitable Ibruk if they perform the requisite deed, Alice. As for the najul leaves, I believe I am capable of acquiring that much on my own. Be warned, you won't find najul in these parts. They only grow in the Jatika heartland, forests far below these. Such an excursion may be time-consuming. Perhaps we ought to try bartering first. This feat encourages our communication with the locals, after all. Lamati, Sagasite, if you would accompany me on my errand. No better way to whet my appetite. Good. Let us be about our tasks then. Let us see if there are najul leaves to be had in town. Perhaps the cook Urianger mentioned might be persuaded to spare us a few. Oh, hello again. Did you need something? Najul leaves, for purposes other than Shibruk Pibil, naturally. Unfortunately, I have just used up my last. You'll have to travel to the lower forests for more. Gold Magic Grove is a source of the finest najul leaves you'll find. Wild variants you sometimes see in city markets can't compare. I see. I had hoped to avoid such a lengthy venture, but if there's no other way to obtain our ingredient, then to the Jatika heartland we shall go. Allow me to save you the trip. Traveling there requires that you go through the Team Beck Traverse, but it has caved in. Due to the recent storm, I expect. What? But that means we can't get our Najul leaves. But we can, can't we? If there were no other way of procuring them, you would have suspended this feat, or else altered its objective. Perhaps. Anyway, I apologize for the interruption, but having overheard your conversation, I felt compelled to chime in. That's very kind of you. Any last-minute advice you would be willing to share? Only to undertake the feat of repast with an empty stomach. You may find Shibruk Pibil to be a delicious but daunting dish to finish. I can't wait. Still, if there are no leaves here and we can travel for more, how are we supposed to gather all our ingredients? These feats are meant to deepen our understanding of the peoples and cultures of Tuli-Yolal. So perhaps there is something about Shibruk Pibil that we have yet to learn, something of significance other than its recipe or ingredients. Oh, I see. Like, who was the first to make it? Its history, that sort of thing. If it's Yak T'el's history you're interested in, you should start with the old war. Between the Shibral and the Bakool Ja Ja, right? These forests have borne witness to centuries of warfare, the evidence of which remains a scar upon the earth. To know the end of that bloodshed is to know Shibruk Pibil. What does steamed Iberug have to do with bloodshed? Precisely the question we must answer. Vexing though should a detour may seem, I can think of no other way to approach this feat. In that case, you may wish to visit the site of a settlement ruined by the war, the village of Iyon Aso. It lies a short distance to the east. The village of Iyon Aso? Understood. Thank you for your help. Come, let's go and see this place. So this is the village of Iyon Aso, or what's left of it. It was a place of light and life. My great-grandfather called it home, in fact. What are you doing here? Wokebu, I didn't know you were in Yak T'el. I was picking up lumber from Ixbrash when I heard that the third promise was on her way to this site of deep historical significance. I immediately saw another opportunity to be of service, and so followed you here. Wukebo is a shipwright who came to our aid during the Feat of Reeds. A pleasure. You are a member of the Third Promise's retinue, I presume? For the moment, I suppose I am. My name is Quana. Pleased to make your acquaintance. He's gonna faint when he realizes who he is. Quana? Now that's a good name. A familiar name. Where have I heard? Quana, as in the second promise of Tuli-Yolal. To think that I addressed the Dawn servant's own son as some common retainer. Such disrespect cannot be excused. Please take up your gun. Holy shit. No more, not this again. I take no offense, so please do not dwell on it. All right then, I shan't dwell on it. Take up your gun. And right on cue. At least he's consistent. I understand you wish to learn about Shibruk Pibil. While I am forbidden by the Shirax Rax to divulge any information regarding its preparation, I would be happy to share what I know of Yak T'el's history. We would appreciate that. In its most basic sense, the conflict between the Xvral and Mamook Ja was one of land. The Mamook Ja live in the lower forest, where the thick canopy obscures the sun, and the soil is unforgiving to crops. This drove them to covet the upper forest, the home of the Xvral, and they launched a determined campaign to seize it for themselves. Yet advantage ever favors higher ground, and the Xvral forces held the upper hand against the invaders, rebuffing them time and again. But as the state of this village would attest, the tide eventually turned. What brought it about? Something you know all too well. Blessed siblings. You must understand. The Mamook Ja were once a people as much at war with themselves as they were with others. The Hubigo, Buniwa, and Dopro each sought to assert dominance over the others, even as they engaged the Xvral in battle. In an effort to strengthen bonds and discourage infighting, Hubigo and Buniwa leaders arranged a marriage between their children. However, this political measure altered the course of history in ways no one could have ever imagined. It was long believed that partners of different clans could not have children together. But then it happened. A child arrived who shared the blood of Hubigo and Buniwa both, a two-headed Mamook Ja. Blessed with tremendous physical strength and magical prowess, he grew into a mighty warrior before eventually arising as the first autarch, ruler of all three clans. Such qualities would dispose anyone to leadership, character notwithstanding. Under the autarch's rule, the newly united Mamook Ja became a force to be feared, and the war soon came to a head. I think it best you see the results firsthand. Let us visit another battlefield from that time, and there I shall continue the tale.
This is where most battles were fought between the Shabral and Mamook Ja, the Shobrit Cinder Field.
A field of cinders, indeed. How fierce their clashes must have been.
The war over these lands began after the Yorqui's departure some 500 years ago. And for 4 centuries thereafter, the two enemies repaid violence with violence. A constant stream of minor skirmishes punctuated by massive slaughter.
Until Father ended their endless conflict 80 years ago.
Accompanied by a retinue of only 6, the Dawn Servant opposed both armies and brought the fighting to a standstill.
First they sealed Valley Armanda at full strength, and now this.
It was during this armistice that both sides gathered for negotiations at the Dawn Servant's behest.
For too long, you have been bound by your ancestors' violent legacy. It is past time you broke free of it.
Tell that to the scale scum! We fight to protect what is rightfully ours! If not for their greed, we'd be living in peace!
Buff your tails and scurry off, then! Cowards like you ill-deserve the bounty of this forest.
Even should one of you succeed in vanquishing the other, your triumph will last only until a new invader arrives. Tell me, do you know of the vast continent that lies far to the east, where numerous nations vie for dominance? You do not. And why should you? Affairs beyond the salt we have no intention to cross are of no consequence to us.
Oh, it's this guy.
Not until those affairs come to Tural, like our honored visitor here.
Oh, so this must be Kettenram.
He's from across the ocean.
I've been to the ocean before, and it's nothing but water farther than the eye can see. What sort of vessel could possibly reach its end?
That such technology exists is indisputable, as is foreign powers' awareness of Tural. If any such country were to develop a taste for Turali soil and bring to bear the might of innovations we can only imagine, what do you suppose happens then? You do not know the warlords of the East, but you know that if they came, they would not settle for a single forest. By joining hands, we might create a unified front, an alliance capable of repelling them or any other foe. There is no greater proof of these than my companions and I. Alone we are weak, but together we triumphed over Valigarmanda.
What? You defeated the Sky Ruin? I'd take you for a liar if the sting of our own defeat wasn't still fresh.
Their coordination was indeed impressive. How the Belu stymied our efforts to cripple the Yokui's legs and defend our ballistas. And when we withdrew to strike again from a distance, the Hanu called the winds to make our arrows miss their marks. In seeking to exploit their weaknesses, we only subjected ourselves to their strengths.
Those strengths are born of cooperation, the guiding principle of the nation we envision.
But our feud has lasted for centuries. How do you expect us to join hands now?
Ha ha! Give us an evening to convince you.
Wait, I saw the echo of someone. Is Kettenram alive?
And so began that legendary banquet. One would not expect sworn enemies to abruptly drink to each other's health, and, indeed, a tense silence hung over the venue. But then, the dawn servant called for the exchange of traditional cuisine. So it was that the Bakool Ja partook of spiced meat, and the Chebral steamed najul. Before long, Delight manifested upon the faces of those present, each side impressed by the other's dish. Seeing this, the Dawn servant laughed and declared once more, their flavors, he said, would be even better combined, and he proceeded to help them prepare the new creation.
That's Shibruk Pibil, I'd wager.
It is a marriage of Shabral and Mamulja cultures, and proof of their newfound cooperation. The Dawn servant had asked for a single evening, but the feasting is said to have lasted 3 days and 3 nights. So delicious was their repast. In the end, a peace accord was reached, and the Dawn servant's words at that time still illuminate our way forward.
Ignorance begets a strife. Understanding begets fellowship.
Sorry. It's just to think that he ended an age-old conflict with food. It's all so absurd. It's somehow so very papa, I couldn't help but laugh.
Ignorance begets strife. Understanding begets fellowship.
Now then, I trust you understand the significance of Shibruk Pibil and the history it has written.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing the story with us. What's wrong? Someone was there, you say?
Perhaps our competition is cooking up some scheme or another.
Something bitter and half-baked, no doubt.
Papa really did live up to his words. He traveled the land and learned about our people's myriad cultures. And we're doing the same now. Wuk has given us valuable insight into the origins of Shibruk Pibil. However, we're still no closer to procuring the necessary Najul leaves, unless... Tell me, was that historic feast commemorated in some fashion, with a monument, for instance? Indeed it was. Allow me to show you. Here it is. Offered up by the two factions, these weapons symbolize their vow that they would never again raise arms against each other. Since this feat demands a journey through history, I thought it only logical that a monument like this might steer us through, especially one at the heart of so significant a battlefield. Lamati, Saga site. Would you help me search this area for clues? Tell me if anything catches your eye. Sure thing. Look here, this soil has been recently overturned. Oh, someone buried a box. Well, I would have been satisfied to find only a hint, but here they are, fresh Najul leaves. Hanma Rook's doing, I would wager. There is a poetry in hiding them on this battlefield, given that it was central to the world that they helped end. So he planned all this from the start. Thank you again, Wukevu. We wouldn't have found these leaves without your help. It was my honor to render assistance. And, with apologies to present company, allow me to offer my encouragement as well, Third Promise. Ever since I witnessed your performance in the feat of reeds, I have been certain that you are the claimant most worthy of leading our nation. Ooh, in Koana's face. All devised solutions to the Hanu-Hanu's ailing crops, but you alone sought to know their culture and revive Ihihana, even if it seemed unrelated to your task. In my humble opinion, no one cares more for the people of Tuliyollal and what they hold dear. Should you again require these historical musings of an old shipwright, I am ever at your service. For now, I take my leave. I cannot argue with that. We have what we need. Let us return to Ixperax. I'm glad we were successful. The others should be back soon, I expect. I hope so. I'm famished. How did everyone fare? We got the Najul leaves. Wukevu came along and helped us find them. Wukevu was here. I would have liked to say hello. Yes, he gave us an important history lesson. Oh, it's raining again. That Bakool Ja Ja brought an end to centuries of warfare surprises me little, but to achieve set peace through cuisine is something else entirely. Leave it to my old man to find the oddest of solutions, but how about the rest of you? Is our kitchen ready? Everything should be in order. Urianger and I made another tour of the village and borrowed the cooking utensils we need, with no mention of what we needed them for, of course. And I am pleased to report that we are stocked with the finest firewood this forest had on offer. Spoken like a true expert. Ereville and I found our brook, so we should have meat aplenty. It was a spirited creature, so much so that its hunter fell down a cenote trying to catch it. What part of never speak of this to anyone did you not understand? I picked a good portion of local herbs, with particular attention to the seeds that yield achote. I'm told our resident astrologian divined the appropriate measurements for the seasoning as well. Through further inquiry, did I determine the ideal balance of spices. Then all remains is to prepare the dish itself. I presume that at least one among us is versed in the culinary arts. I can hardly claim profound skill, but I have cooked for myself. You can leave the rest to me. And you, I hope. As I recall, you're an accomplished culinarian. I love when the game detects your level in a certain job and recognizes it. Just don't tell her that I leveled culinary entirely by doing Grand Company deliveries. Oh, my mouth is watering already. Without further delay then.
Oh, it smells so good.
Good, there is still time. I shall prepare our sample at once.
At first, I wasn't sure about being stuck with the one head. But better that than playing nanny to the mewling house cat.
Be quiet, Bakool Ja Ja. No one cares what you think.
Act tough all you like. Victory will be ours.
It's the way they pronounce certain combinations of letters makes me think that some of the voice actors are actually from Spain, but I'm not sure.
It's ready.
Uy, taquitos de cochinita pibil.
Apologies for the wait. We submit to you our Shibruk Pibil.
This looks amazing!
The dish is prepared by using the culinary techniques of the Mamook to cook the spiced meats favored by the Jabral.
Jabral.
It is a symbol of peace between their two peoples after centuries of war.
Both the ingredients and your methods appear to have been correct. Now then.
So tiny.
In taste, texture, and aroma, you have recreated Shibruk Pibil admirably.
Is that good or bad?
Granted, anyone might well achieve similar results by following the recipe to the letter. But you went a step further. You sought to learn the cultural significance of the dish, about Yak T'el's history of violence and your father's role in ending it. Your willingness to take lessons from the past befits aspiring Dawn servants. And for that, I commend you. All that remains is to partake of your creation. True understanding is gained only through experience.
Now this is something I'm definitely good at.
Ahem. I believe we have yet to receive our assessment. Ours is also a faithful example of Shibruk Pibil, as you will no doubt agree.
When did they make it?
I see.
What?
While your effort looks the part, unlike the second and third promises dish, it lacks its defining aroma.
Did they miss an ingredient?
Preposterous! The meat was marinated and spiced before being steamed in an earthen oven. This is Shibruk Pibil.
The leaves? Did they miss the leaves?
Oh? And what about the Jatika banana leaf?
It's because of you that we couldn't get any damn leaves! You can't fault us!
But the second and third promises had no such difficulty, did they? That which they needed they acquired simply by showing interest in our history and heritage.
Ugh, it's just some crusty old leaf. What difference could it make?
Your dish lacks an essential ingredient. As you have failed to demonstrate an adequate understanding of Shibruk Pibil, I must deem your performance unsatisfactory. Your team will not receive keystones.
Ooh.
This was stupid anyway.
What?
His ambition only grows more intense. That someone could harbor such dark thoughts towards family.
What do I care for this sham of a feat? I can always take what I need later.
This is delicious! The brook's so tender it melts in your mouth, and the way the najuli rounds out these spices is sublime. This is the taste of harmony. Someone who only knows brute force and deception could never appreciate it.
Choke on your harmony.
Come, come. Finish your meal. That too is part of the feat.
You don't have to tell me twice. Ah, that was bliss. You've got real culinary talent. If you ever tire of adventuring, you can always be my personal chef.
It was palatable enough, I suppose.
No, shut up, Guana.
To you, who have successfully performed the feat of Repast, I present these keystones.
Only 1 feet left.
Well, I should get going then. I'm glad that I wasn't paired with one of the others.
We can do better than that, surely.
The 6th keystone is ours. Thanks for all your help, everyone. I forgot something important. Was there any Shibruk people left? I could really use another helping.
That was so good. I'm already looking forward to having Shibruk Pibil again. Here, Trial made more using leftover ingredients. You'll love it. I'm thinking to buy more for the road myself. Now that the feat of Repast is over, the villagers should be free to offer it to us, right? Seeing as we now face the penultimate objective of the rite, it would be wise to travel to Mamook and undertake the feat of the Brotherhood without delay. Wise, yes, but impossible. The Teambek Traverse, which connects the upper forest to the Jatika heartland, is still impassable. Is there no other route? I'm afraid not. Work to clear the path is underway though, so I'm hopeful we can resume our journey soon. Then let us each use this time as we see fit. I, for one, would like to explore the village's surrounds, if Erenville would oblige me for a tour. Very well. I have no other engagements. Then I will come with you, if only to prove that I am capable of keeping my footing. Though I shouldn't rejoice in our delay, it does afford me an opportunity to look into my grandfather's purported visit to Yak T'el. Oh, that's right. Mablu did say something about a foreign mage coming through here decades back, didn't she? I'll come with you. Want to join us? Let us reconvene here after our respective diversions. Oh, it stopped raining. Nice. As I recall, the merchant met my grandfather at a market in Yak T'el some 20 years ago. Any who might reliably remember him must therefore be at least middle-aged. Let us make inquiries where we can. A foreign mage? 20 years ago? Yes, I remember him. It's not often we get visitors from across the salt, let alone those traveling with infants. A baby girl, as I recall. I only saw him in passing, mind. If anyone were to know more, I would wager it would be Mamook. He was already rash then. A baby girl? It couldn't have been. Thank you, sir. That information is very helpful. Hello again. Do you require assistance? A foreign mage passed through Ikbrash roughly 20 years ago, possibly carrying a young child. Do you remember him? Obviously you do. Why did you ask me this? Who is this man to you? He may have been my grandfather, and I wish to know what brought him here. Your grandfather? Not by blood, but he is family nonetheless. A foreign mage did indeed visit Ikbrash. Master Galuf. There we go. So far as his identity is concerned, I trust you are satisfied? More than that, however, I cannot say. Why not? I simply cannot. I beg your forgiveness and understanding. What? Very well, I will not press. Thank you for confirming his presence here. The rest I will discover myself. Out of more general curiosity, I have another question. They say the Yakui once dwelled in these forests. Where was that exactly? General curiosity indeed, but yes. Before they withdrew to Urkupacha some 5 centuries ago, the Yakui claimed Yak T'el as their own. Many of their architectural remains can be found in the lower forests, the Jatika heartland. Then that's where they must have had their visions. Thank you. That answers much and more. I understand what it means to long for one's family, so believe me when I say that, though my position forbids me from aiding you further, I wish you nothing but success. Why? By helping the third promise find the Golden City, you will surely find the answers to your questions. Is it... Speaking of which, I have a query of my own for you. May I request a moment of your company? Go on, we'll wait for you. Thank you for obliging me. First, let us head to the cenote behind this village. It was my intention to see you off without saying anything, but Mistress Kryle's plea has softened my resolve. As the leader of our community, I am gladdened to see that the third promise has surrounded herself with such compassionate and trustworthy companions. Would you tell me of her journey thus far? We did this, we did that. We killed Valegaramanda. We traded things with the Pelu. Is that so? It seems the rite has been a source of great learning and growth for Wuk Lamat. It does me well to hear that. My daughter would be about her age. Girls are rarely born amongst the Shibral, so when she arrived, the village was elated. Such joy I felt when I first held her, and pain when I found her at the bottom of a cenote. 3 years old. An accident, it was said, but I knew better. She had been pushed. Though we never caught them, a suspicious figure was seen fleeing towards the Jatika heartland, towards Mamook. Once bitter enemies, the Bakool Ja Ja and Xbral had learned to live in peace. But who could doubt the intent of such a reprehensible act? By targeting the child who would one day lead her people, the criminal sought to undermine the future of the Xibral. I was determined not to let them succeed, and so I let the memory of my daughter die in that cenote, and gave her into the care of the one person I knew who could protect her. Don Servant Galu. So he's Wuk Lamat's father? Though she was born to lead the Xbral, fate had a greater plan for Wuk Lamat. But why? Only the Dawn Servant and I know the truth. But I must now take you into my confidence for one reason. Why? If the villain who attempted to murder my daughter was indeed of Mamook, then rancor towards the Xbral still burns. I was caught off guard once. I will not suffer the same tragedy again. And so I ask you, not as a Dawn Servant selector, but as a father, to watch over the third promise. Defend her from her enemies that may be lurking in shadow. Will you do this for me? Thank you. from the bottom of my heart. Will you hear my question and answer me plainly? Address me not as the ruler of Tuli-Yolal, but a concerned father. Suffice it to say, this conversation must remain between us. Pray breathe not a word of this to anyone. Uh-oh. I like how the Mamook just smiled. It's unsettling and funny. Recalling the past has rendered me emotional. I require a moment to compose myself, but please do not keep the third promise waiting. You're back. So, what did Hunmo Rook want? Absolutely nothing. It's it's a secret. It's alright, you don't have to say. More importantly, the Team Beck Traverse still isn't clear yet. Something about even more rocks. Then I think I'll take the opportunity to rest. All that cooking and preparing for it has worn me out. Now please, let nothing happen to Kryl. A nap does sound tempting. This one... A moment, promise. You're one of Bakool Ja Ja's. What do you want? I've come to fetch you. You're welcome to refuse, but know that it would be most unwise. Oh really? They must have a trump card, otherwise I could obliterate this thing out of existence. And why is that? I'm sure your salted friend has an idea. What do you think? And they say house cats don't come when cold. Follow me, promise? Oh, I'm getting tired of these people. I want to flare them to bits.
What is the meaning of this? And just how far do you plan on taking us?
Bakool Ja Ja? He wants to take my stone? Oh no.
Oh, Mamook! Bakool Ja Ja, you snake! If you want my keystone so badly, you'll deal with me and me alone. Leave the Elector out of this.
He would be disqualified by attacking an Elector.
Is that all you think he is? Foolish kitty! This man is the reason we are here. Take a good look at him. Go on, look. Surely you recognize your real father.
Don't believe us? Then ask your trusted sellsword. She heard it straight from the old man's mouth.
Is it true? Is Mamook my... Your silence says it all.
Now that you understand the situation, let's see those keystones. I'll even let you fight for them. Just you and me. If that adventurer attempts to interfere, I'll kill the old man myself!
I mean, okay, you know, screw it. He'll be disqualified by if he gets all the keystones, he can open the City of Gold and do whatever he wants with it. I don't... He's so brash.
You despicable, heartless fiend! Kinsman or no, I won't stand for you taking hostages! Come on then! You wanna fight? I'll give you a fight!
Oh, such heroic caterwauling promise. I'm shaking.
What a...
Guard our hostage well. We wouldn't want to attempt any thoughts of rescue.
I could just flare all of them. Well, it probably
By the
hurt.
by, house cat. They've been instructed to put down Papa dearest when you lose. Hopefully he settled his affairs.
Don't worry. I'm not losing to the likes of him. Well, what are you waiting for, you blessed bastards? It's 2 against 1. Don't tell me you're scared.
Wanna fight as Wuk Lamat?
I know I didn't hear you right.
Cowards don't stand a chance against Wuk Lamat. You should back down before you get hurt. Don't worry, the scary adventurer won't try anything funny.
Foreign scum! Who are you to mock me? I'll kill you, kill you, kill you all! Don't look away, Salt. I want you to watch as I tear your beloved promise to shreds!
Okay, I'm gonna play Wuk Lamat.
Eyes on me. The house cat, remember?
Okay, I need to see what she does.
I'll say it again. I'm not losing to the likes of you. I'm going to become Dawn's servant, and I will protect my people!
Oh, damn. Okay. So begin with this.
Come, you mangy house cat, so I can rip you to pieces!
My magic should be more than enough for Miss Middens.
No more tricks, Bakool Ja Ja. We're settling this here and now.
I need to heal.
Still playing the part of the brave warrior?
Miss Middens is no longer amusing me, brother.
This rite has taught me so much. About my nation, my people, and myself. I finally understand what it means to live in peace. To greet each day in safety and happiness.
This is the end for you, kitten!
It's not enough claim the title of Dawn's servant. I must carry on Papa's legacy, his love for our people.
Dear in an ouster! Why won't you die? Fine! I'll show you the true power of the blessed!
I will be the next Dawn servant, and I'll protect my people's happiness to the last! That's when there's no way I'll ever lose to the light of you!
What? But that was everything I had!
So can I kill you now?
I can't stand it anymore!
Oh, cheats. Okay.
This is our fight! Stay out of it!
Uh-huh. You summoned them.
You bring shame on our goddess! You think we care about your stupid pride?
Also, it's the... Okay.
Mamook! We cannot lose!
Oh, okay.
Oh, the great Bakool Ja Ja needs help, I see. Send your whole army. You still won't win. I will prove that my allies are right to believe in me.
Such confidence! Unchanged! She wasn't like this before!
There we go. That was great. Okay. Pakistan, thank you. That's mine. Thank you.
I reclaim what you stole.
No. How can this be? How could that puny house cat beat all of us?
You've caused nothing but trouble with your dirty tricks. Threatening the Hanu, releasing Valyarmanda, harassing me is one thing, but you've endangered too many innocents. No more, Bakool Ja Ja. I will not stand for it. If you even think of tormenting my people again, you will answer to me.
No. No.
What?
And he goes and forgets he had the way blocked.
What? That was his doing?
The only part left in the saga is the Lay of the Brotherhood in Mamook. The plan was to force you here so we could take the rest of your keystones.
So that's what he was up to. But, should you be telling us this?
What does it matter? You've beaten us. It's over. We'll release the hostage.
We're just lackeys. the most traditional group of lackeys.
I'm sorry. I was careless.
Are you all right?
You have the same hair and eye color. How did I not notice?
So what Bakool Ja Ja said about you and me.
But to single-handedly defeat Bakool Ja Ja, you truly are the Dawn Servant's daughter. It has been my honor to bear witness to your journey. Promise.
Promise. Yes. That's what I am. I'm Bakool Ja Ja's daughter and Tulihyolal's next Dawn servant. Come on. Let's rejoin the others.
Seems we were the last to return. I'm glad everyone made it back safely. Thank you for having faith in me. Keeping out of the fight even when it got dirty couldn't have been easy for you. But Bakool Ja Ja won't be the last person to threaten those I care about. I wanted to prove to myself that I can stand up to such villains, even when I stand alone. Which isn't to say I won't ask for your help when I need it, of course. I know better than that now. Earlier, in the second Promises camp,
the passage to Mamook remains blocked. For now, all we can do is try to rest and recover. Perhaps with a meal, as my sister would no doubt suggest. Shall we borrow the kitchens and prepare some Shibruk Bibil?
So thou hast taken a liking to the dish. As we learn to appreciate the unfamiliar, 'tis only natural that we develop new affinities. There is no shame in this.
But there is in ignorance. I had barely considered what the people of Tulihyollal hold dear. What hopes they harbor for the future. Our nation is built upon the bonds that Father forged during his journey across Tural. But so single-minded have I been in my advocacy of foreign innovations that I failed to understand my own people. Could someone who struggles to connect with the populace ever make a worthy Dawn servant?
That's the question.
To understand and connect with people is by no means easy. But there is something you can do to pave the way. Let them see you for who you really are. What makes you laugh and cry and rage. That sort of honesty is the first step towards mutual understanding and connection.
Understanding begets fellowship, as my father said. What you suggest does not come naturally to me.
I, too, have found it difficult to speak from the heart. In thy struggles, I see mine own, painful in their familiarity. Yet frightening though it may feel, if we are to move forward, we must indeed take that first step. Dispense with pretense, and simply be.
Do you remember when you first approached us, and we asked you why you wanted to become Dawn Servant? You said you wished to use the knowledge you acquired in Sharlayan for your country, and in doing so repay your father for the opportunities he afforded you. What won me over was not your ambition, but your motivation. So let your people know this, and in time, they'll come to support you as we do. You can't hide behind that stoicism forever.
Very well then. I will make a greater effort to be myself. By not being my usual self so much.
At this point in the story, I love how we know the candidates, the motivations, the new characters in Dawntrail. And we have a pretty good idea of how Wuk Lamat works. We have a pretty good idea of how Koana works. We have a decent idea of how Bakool Ja Ja works, despite there's been a few mysteries. But the most impenetrable of them all is still Soralja. And it's intriguing. I'm really enjoying this part of Dawntrail, the contest. In my prediction, not prediction, but in my trailer analysis video, I said that the contest would be like the first half, would be like Zodiac. We thought this was the goal, but it won't be. It will be like a stepping stone to the real conflict, which is likely to include Solution 9. But I am really enjoying this whole contest part. So what's the state of the T-Imbek Traverse? Still being cleared, I would assume. But Mamook said he would notify us as soon as our work was done. Then perhaps now would be a good time to consider how we might reclaim Wuk Lamat's stolen keystone. The next feat will be our last, after all. Oh yeah, about that. Oh, I already got it back. What? What? When? Not to mention how. This is Bakool Ja Ja we're talking about. I beat the crap out of him. So I taught him a lesson and took my keystone back. You bested Bakool Ja Ja in single combat. Bravo. Wasn't so single. What can I say? I've had good friends to encourage and cheer me on. There you are. Our excavators have contacted me with news of their success. The T-Imbek Traverse is now safe for travel. Then we finally can make for Mamook. Come to think of it, isn't it Bakool Ja Ja's home? We can only hope its residents don't share his winning personality. If it is indeed the city where Ketenram first met the Dawn Servant, surely some civility awaits us. I would not be so certain. It is true that the Dawn Servant received Ketenram in Mamook, and was instrumental in the establishment of friendly relations between the Xral and Mamulja. But since that time, most of the Mamulja who supported his peace have left their city in favor of abiding in the capital. What remains is a cloister of Mamook. And while these traditionalists do not take up arms against us, neither do they bear great love for outsiders. Whatever they're like, the people of Mamook are also of Tuliyolal. If I'm to be Dawn's servant, it's my job to know them first of all. Well, we'll be on our way then. I'm glad I could learn about where I came from, and eat so much Shivrul Pivil besides. Thank you for everything, Humuruk. Till next time, take care. First, we make our way across the Shurobit Cinderfield. Due southeast. How you have grown indeed. The traverse will bring us straight into the Jaktika heartland. Remember how you insisted the forest is green? This path is quite steep, isn't it? Let us take our time and descend safely. I spoke with one of the excavators on my way down. Apparently, Bakool Ja Ja cleared away the one fallen tree remaining by barreling through it. That Wuk Lamat single-handedly defeated someone possessed of such physical might is nothing short of remarkable. Still, we ought to proceed with caution. There's no telling what his wounded pride might compel him to attempt.